Hello everyone, welcome to the next video of the series Azure Migrate Lab Tools and Techniques. In last two videos we discussed about uh, Azure Migrate. We did the practical session using appliance, we did discovery and assessment using import CSV file. In this video we will talk about Azure Database Migration Service. That's another tool given by Azure. That Azure Database Migration Service basically used to migrate database as its name suggests, right? So if you have on-premises server or somewhere in the other cloud, the SQL server, and you want to migrate to Azure, how Azure Database Migration Service helps, we will learn in this video. Just to quickly describe everything about that, I'll open another document given by Microsoft related to the same. What it says, migrate database by using the Azure SQL migration extension for Azure Data Studio. So we will take help of Azure Data Studio as well in this migration, and one of the extension given by Data Studio, which is Azure SQL migration. But before anything, let's quickly jump to this architecture diagram given by Microsoft. Let's understand that how this DMS service, which is Azure Database Migration Service, works. Right. So as it shows in the left side, on premises, that means your data center where from you want to migrate. What it's exactly running, the SQL server, the source SQL server, 2008 and above, any edition, Windows or Linux. Then before I move ahead, let me tell you one thing. When we talk about Azure Database Migration Service, there are two approaches. Quickly jump on the above again. Yeah, here. See, if you see this migration mode, that means if you use Azure Database Migration Service and you want to migrate SQL Server, then these are the targets what you can choose in Azure. Means SQL Server to Azure SQL Migration Manage instance. That means you can choose in Azure the MI. You can choose in Azure SQL Server and Azure Virtual Machine. That means in Azure you can choose another virtual machine, and in Azure you can choose Azure SQL Database. So three options you have. These two you understand are PaaS services, and this is the our AR services. All right, and to migrate in all three, we have two options: online or offline. Online or offline. But for Azure SQL Database, we have only offline. Now, what is online and offline? In online, whatever source SQL server you have, that will remain running, right? You don't need to stop that. So that means there will be very less downtime when only you will do the cutover. Cutover means when you are ready to run the target SQL server, which you will migrate on your SQL server. Otherwise, there will be no downtime, right? But if you say offline, means the downtime will be higher side. That means whenever you will start migrating till from that time to when you stop migrating, right, when you do the cutover, till that time there will be a downtime. So it's a little higher side. That depends on your situations, on your client. Like if business is not that critical, right, on that SQL server, you can choose offline. But if business is very critical, you have to choose online, so that the business is continuously running and you are doing the migration. And as soon as you take few minutes, or I should say 10 to 15 minutes from client just to do the cutover, you can do that. Fine. But you can choose any of them, depend on the situation. Okay, we will in This video we will talk about online migration, and we will choose SQL Server and Azure Virtual Machine for this video. In the next videos, we will choose Azure SQL Database or Azure SQL Managed Instance as well. Fine. So for this video, we will choose SQL Server on and Azure Virtual Machine online mode. And in the next video, we will talk about SQL Server on an Azure Virtual Machine in offline mode. Okay, let's understand the online mode now. The left side, we were discussing about this is on-premises area where you have the source SQL Server, right? And we need to install the Azure Data Studio. Now in this Azure Data Studio, we can see one extension we will use that is called Azure SQL Migration. And if your source SQL Server having all the backups in your network shared drive, right? This is SMB file share. Then you need to install self-hosted integration runtime as well. Now, what is the use of this? This share will make the secure communication with your Azure Storage Account and transfer all the backups from your network shared drive to Azure Storage Account. If you have a new source database or having a local backups instead of this network shared drive, then you don't require this share. This share is only useful when you have a network drive, right, where from you can transfer the backup files. If you don't have this and you want to send all those backup files directly to Azure Storage Account, you can do that as well. Now in Azure side, definitely we require the Database Migration Service, we require one storage account, right, and one machine which is running the SQL Server so that this database can be migrated to this machine. Okay. So in this tutorial, we will see how we will do all those migration without this share and without the network drive. And in the next video, we will understand that if we have the network drive, then how we can utilize the share. So now let's move ahead and start doing the thing. First, we will prepare the Azure stuff. And again, as we did in the previous videos, just to simulate the on-premises SQL Server, we will take the help of AWS, and here we will create one SQL Server machine as an on-premises SQL Server. Alright, let's do the stuff. Alright, so let's start creating the environment first in the Azure side. So quickly jump to the resource group. Let's create another resource group. Let's name it Azure Migrate DB. Let's keep everything in East US 2. Quickly choose East US 2. Alright. So Azure Migrate DB, East US 2, review plus create, and create. Okay. Let's choose SQL Server 2022 on Windows Server 2022. Click create. And resource group is fine. Let's give it a machine name as per the standard or as per the extension, or you can choose any name. For this is just for tutorial purpose, so that's not a problem. East US 2, availability zone not required, trusted launch virtual machine. Let's choose standard, not choosing anything fancy here. x64. Okay, so we have choose standard D4AS V4 T series machine, that is another general purpose machine, 4 core 16 GB memory, right? Let's give it a username. As your user, choose a password. and keep the 3389 port open, right? Then move to the disk part, choose everything as it is. Networking, let's create a new virtual network with the name of VNet, that's fine. Keep the default one, yep. And then public IP, basic, selected port, everything as it is. There is no need to change anything as it is tutorial, so we can choose everything as it is. Nothing for management side. Monitoring, no require. Keep everything as it is. Now the SQL Server setting is important part. You can choose, the important thing is SQL authentication. You can keep it enabled, though it is not as mandatory for this tutorial, but generally whenever you create a SQL Server setting, this is the recommendations tab that you turn on the SQL authentication mode, right? And keep the login name and password same as VM. So this is one setting you have to do, and rest is, let's create the SQL Server VM. Okay, let's create that. Meanwhile, the machine is getting created. Let's quickly jump on AWS and let's create a machine here as well. So click on EC2. Click on launch instance. So in the AWS side, let's choose a name first. I choose my previous one of the name, SQL VM AWS DB N001. Then from Azure AWS machine image, let's choose, just press enter. Yep, choose Windows Server 2002, SQL Server 2022. Though for your scenarios, maybe you can choose any other Windows Server version like 2019, 2016, and same for SQL Server. As per your scenario, you can choose 2019 or 2016. But for simplicity purpose, we are choosing this SQL Server 2022, Windows and SQL Server. So select. Now just scroll down. For instance type, let's pick another general purpose machine. Let's choose M6A extra large, 4-core machine would be sufficient. Then key pair, as we have seen in the previous videos, key pair just for our password and connectivity purpose. Now it's very simple, just click, give a name and create key pair. But for our scenario, we already have that, so we will use the same. Same for network setting, it choose some default settings, though I have already created that, so we use the previous one, that it keeps the range 10.0.0/24. Choose the same subnet, which is this. Now scroll down, auto assign public IP enabled, security group, default PC, and let's click launch instance. Alright, so our machine is created. So status check is initializing. Let's wait for that. Meanwhile, let's quickly jump on our Azure portal, and there we will create a storage account which is needed for this. Now here we will create a storage account in the same resource group. So quickly type storage account, storage, click create. Use the same resource group. Storage account name is storage account Z DB and 001. Whenever I type Z, that's always represent Azure, right? You can type AZ, Azure, anything. Just for abbreviation, I give Z. Then region is ECS2. Primary service definitely would be Azure Blob storage or data lake. Standard. Keep LRS, though it's just a tutorial, so you choose LRS for redundancy. Otherwise, in your production, you can choose GRS or GZRS as per your need. Now, quickly next. There is no as such changes. Next. Keeping everything as it is, encryption and all, and click review plus create. Yep, this account is ready. Click on go to resource. Let's quickly create a container where we will keep our backup files from the source machine. So click on container, give it a name DB backups, click on create. Now quickly jump on AWS. Let's refresh. Okay, so machine is ready and running. Quickly jump on instance ID. Click on connect. Click on RDP client. So you click on get window password here. And I have choose my key. It's coming here. Click on decrypt password. My password is generated. Let's copy it. Let's paste it somewhere to remember that. Okay, so we have pasted the password here. Now try to connect. Use public DNS. Connect. Give a username. Administrator, give a password, so machine is running. I have opened the SQL Server Management Studio, and quickly, just for our demo purpose, let's download our sample DB. So click on Adventure SQL Database. So we type Adventure SQL Database download. There is AdventureWorks sample databases given by Microsoft. Scroll down, we have AdventureWorks 2022 back file. Just click it. We have downloaded it. Let's keep it somewhere in the C drive. Make folder called sample DB. Okay, this thing is ready. So meanwhile, our SMS is also open. Just choose Windows Authentication Mode, Trust Server Certificate, click Connect, and it's connected. Now database, right click, restore database. Now click on device, add, sample DB, and our AdventureWorks 2022 database selected. Click OK, and it's restored. Click OK. So we have our sample database ready. Now quickly jump on our diagram and let's see what we have prepared. So we have our source SQL Server ready now with running at sample DB, right? Then we have our target database, which is SQL Server Azure VM, fine, and we have our storage account. Now, just to go further, let's download Azure Data Studio in the source VM. So quickly open here. Type Azure Data Studio download. And you choose x64. Let's pick system installer. I accept. Next, next to icon, and install. So our Azure Data Studio is installed. Click finish. Okay, just close these pop-ups for now. Just maximize it. Click on connections. Click on new connection. Now choose SQL Server. For your name, just choose name from here. Keep Windows Authentication Mode. Database, if you scroll down, enable Trust Server Certificate. Choose AdventureWorks 2022, Trust Server Certificate, true, and connect. Okay, so your database is also connected. Now click Manage, and it's coming here. Alright, now as it says, we have to use one extension which is called Azure SQL Migration extension. So I can see over here Azure SQL Migration. I can just click it and I can install it. Alright, just right click, click Manage again. So you can see our extension here, Azure SQL Migration. Just click on it. Okay, so it gives you the complete interface. New migration, new login migration, import assessment, help support feedback. So just click on new migration. Now what it says is your SQL Server instance tracked in Azure? No. Do you want to track migration process in Azure portal? Yes. Source infrastructure type, it's a AWS virtual machine. Azure account, let's link your account. So you click. So subscription is coming here. Let's move further. Let's choose the location, East US 2. The source group, our Azure Migrate DB, which we used on Azure portal. Select the database, click on next. First, it will do the assessment. And now my assessment shows that my database can be migrated in all three variations: Azure SQL Database, Azure SQL MI, or SQL Server and Azure VM. So we will click on next. Now it's asking what target type you want to choose. We will choose SQL Server on Azure Virtual Machine. Database is selected. Click on next. Now it shows Azure account, subscription, East US 2, resource group, and it automatically detect my target VM machine, SQL VMZ DB 001, which is fine. Click on next. Here the important part. Here it asks online migration or offline migration. So in this video we will focus on online migration. In the next video we will focus on offline migration. So let's choose online migration. My database backups are in Azure Storage Blob container, right? Or you can choose my database backups are on a network share. For now we will choose my database backups are in Azure Storage Blob container. So now it's asking for database migration service. So let's create a new database migration service. You can create either from here or from Azure portal. So let's choose Azure portal for that. Minimize it, jump here, click on home. Azure Database Migration Service. Create. Source server type is SQL Server. Target type is Azure SQL VM. We will create database migration service. Click select. Resource group, we will choose the same Azure Migrate DB. Location, East US 2. Migration service name. Database migration service -Azure. Review plus create and create. Okay, so your database migration service is created on Azure. Now if you come here and you just take a step back and come back, normally you should see the database migration service here as well. As I can see DMS Azure, right, in this issue. Sometimes it doesn't show in one go, like if I click previous next, but it doesn't show. In that case, what you can do, you can just cancel the whole migration and you can start it again. But there is another catch. When you start again, right, in that case, if you minimize this, come to Azure Migrate, and if you refresh it, so this is the SQL Server Azure Arc I was talking about. It's automatically created whenever you do the migration. So you can delete this quickly from here. So click on next. asking that target database name. Do you want to keep it same? Yes. The source group, this is fine. Storage account, it's automatically pick what we have created. Blob container, DB backups. Not able to find the folder, and the reason is you haven't moved any DB backup in the Azure storage so far. So let's quickly do that. Let's jump on our SQL, source SQL, then right click, task, backup, and just to take the backup, it's saying disk. Instead of disk, click on URL, click add. Now here it's asking is your storage container. Click on new container, click sign in, and do all the sign in stuff. So you signed in, and you can see now it's showing your subscription. Click on storage account, and your storage account is visible. You can choose the blob container, that is also visible. Just click on create credential. So your SAS token is generated. You can click on OK, and then you can give it a backup file name or leave it as it is. Click OK. As you can see, it's showing that the complete URL with your blob. Now if I click OK, you can see the backup has been completed successfully. Click OK. Now back to Migrate service. Let's click on previous and do next again. Okay, so when you click previous and next, and then you can see it's showing the root folder and showing the backslash. So you can just click next. Now your migration service is ready. So click start migration. And as soon as you do that, you can see here database migration in progress 1. You can click on that and it will show the progress. Same progress, what exactly you're looking here, you can view on Azure portal. Just click on home, Azure Database Migration Service, open the service, click on monitor, and you can see the migration status is same, creating. Right, you can scroll down and it shows the duration, start time, finish time, everything. You can just do the refresh and it will show you all the detail. Now going back to the Data Studio, if you click here, it will show you further detail that what is the migration status that it's creating. So let's wait for a couple of minutes just to complete this, and then we will come back. Now as you can see, the status has changed. Now it's showing restoring. So database is created, now it's restoring. Now let's quickly open the target SQL Server VM and let's check if something has created over there. Okay, so we have opened the target server and opened the SSMS in that. Click on database and you can see now the target database has been created in restoring mode, which is expected. It will not be available until unless we will not do the cutover. So yeah, so the state is fine. Now jump back to our source VM again. Let's refresh. And then as you can see, now the status is ready for cutover. So that means the backup has been restored successfully. And the last applied backup file is coming this. As you can see, the name. Alright. Now let's do a couple of more things and try to understand this is an online mode. Means your source database is online and target database is in restoring mode. It means that your production application which is connected with your source database can continue run until unless you decide that okay, you want to take this source database offline and want to connect with your target database. And meanwhile, you decide that if there are more data inside this database or any production database, you can just click task and take as many as backup you want here, either full or differential. You can take that on the same location. Let's suppose if I take a differential backup, click add again. Now the date is automatically changed in the file name. Here the storage container URL is already there. Click OK. Click OK. The differential backup is done. Click OK. Now go back to Azure Data Studio. Now you remember that file? Now let me showcase the file. So come on the storage account. Click on containers, DB backups, and here you can see this is the previous one. The last number is 3359 and this is the latest one 4505. Now if you come to the Azure Data Studio, it shows 3359. So that means still it is having a previous backup. It hasn't restored the latest differential backup on the target database. So you have to wait for a couple of minutes. Meanwhile, we can try refresh, and just to verify that, there is another option, copy migration detail. You can click on that. You can open the notepad and paste all the details over here. Now it shows that what exactly it's running with. As you can see, current restoring file name is the old one and the last one is also old one. That means it hasn't picked the latest one, so we have to wait. And there are other information as well: source database name, scope, provisioning state succeeded, rating for cutover, and so on. Right? So let's minimize this. Let's refresh it and wait for a couple of more seconds. So as soon as it will apply, we will come back. Even we can verify one more thing. Let's select a database, click on new query. Let's update one or two records just to show some changes in the database. So first of all, select one table. Now let's update the last name of the first record. Okay, so we executed that, and let's select again. Alright, so the first record last name has been changed. Now let's take the differential backup so that it shows that it has something to restore. Okay, so we are back, and we can see the last number is 105840. Now quickly take a look in this storage DB backups. When we refresh, so these are the files. I created a couple of more backups in the background, and I can see the last backup I took, the number was 5840. So 5840, the same number is here, 5840. We can also copy migration detail and we can paste in the notepad. And as soon as we do that, it shows the last restored file name is 5840. So that means all the backup has been restored. Now, if you need, you can do the cutover. Right? So first of all, the thing which we want to understand, that whenever there is a time and the source database is still running, you can take as many as backup, and the database migration service automatically restore all those backups. And when you verify that yes, all the backup has been applied, you can do the cutover. So click on complete cutover, click on I confirm, and click on complete cutover. And when you do the refresh, you can see it shows succeeded. So that means your cutover is done. Now click on dashboard, click on refresh, just scroll down. See, it shows database migration completed 1, and the total database migrations are 1. So one migration which you ran, that has been completed successfully. Just verify the same in the database migration service. So just click over here, monitor migrations, click refresh, migration status succeeded, migration mode online, target type SQL virtual machine. Okay, so now quickly jump to the target machine, just refresh. See, the restoring mode has been removed, and now this database is ready. Just to verify that all database changes has been shifted, just open the query, paste the query, select and click execute. See, I tried one record in front of you, and this is something I have done in the background. So both records are coming as updated one. Right? So our target database is ready to connect with the application. That's it, guys. So we have learned how the database migration service work in online mode, where we use Azure Storage Account to hold all the backups. Right? Now in the next video, we will learn about again the database migration service, but in offline mode using the SHIR. When we say SHIR, that means the self-hosted integration runtime. So how to utilize that as well, we can understand that. Till the time, thank you so much.